Hey everybody, welcome back to SamaReacts. It's your boy Marshall Sama, and in today's video we're gonna be reacting to one of my favorite bands. I don't think anybody can crucify me for saying they're my favorite band. 21 Pilots, and I've been listening to them for a few years, but I know there's like actual lore behind their albums and behind their music, but I feel like I'm more of a surface level fan, so I never really got to dive deep into like the entire 21 Pilots lore. So I thought I'd take you guys on the journey with me. Obviously their last album came out a few months ago in September, and Breach was actually my top album on this year's Spotify Wrapped. So hey,
I watched the 21 Pilots music video and thought, what does this stuff even mean? You're not alone. It's more than just some amazing songs. It's a journey through deep themes, mental health, a unique story, and hidden symbols. In this video, we will dive into the fascinating world behind their music and explain the 10-year-old lore that is finally wrapped up in the most recent album, Breach. Whether you're a brand new fan, an OG, or someone who is now realizing there is lore to the music, it's time to lock in. From Blurryface to Breach, there's a whole universe of meaning to be uncovered. This is explaining the entire 21 Pilots lore as simple as possible. Every story needs a start, right? Well, for 21 Pilots, this story starts with a 2015 hit album, Blurryface. It then continues through Trench, Skilled and Icy, Clancy, and finally...
I don't know why a lot of people like shit on like Skilled and Icy. Skilled and Icy is one of my favorite 21 Pilots albums. I feel like I was introduced to their music first with Trench. After bumping Trench back and forth over like 100 times, I went over now to Skilled and Icy. I think that's why I feel like I have such a deep connection to that album, because I started listening to it at like a specific point in my life, and even listening to it now, it like takes me back to back in the day.
Breach. Before we go deeper, you'll need to understand a few key locations and terms. First, we will go over the city called Dima. It is described as a dark, oppressive city surrounded by massive walls that prevents its citizens from escaping. This city is ruled by a group of 9 bishops who are shown to hold immense power over its residents, forcing them to live in fear and under constant surveillance. Dima is located on the continent called Trench. I should probably tell you what that is. Trench is the place outside of Dima, a place where the citizens try to escape to. There is a group called the Banditos that live in Trench. Another key location is an island called Voldsoy. It's an island off the shore of Trench. It for some reason has a large population of Neds. I'll be sure to explain what a Ned is later. That's about it for the locations. Now let me explain some key terms you should know. The thing about Dima is that it isn't controlled just by high walls and fear. It's controlled by belief. The city follows a corrupt religion called Vialism, which teaches that the only way to paradise is by taking one's own life. Those who fall victim to this religion are remembered as the glorious gone. This also allows the bishops to use their power called seizing. It allows them to take control of the dead as vessels. They are the only ones who can use this power. At least that's what they thought. Clancy, one of the main characters, is an exception to this rule and can also use this power.
So at first I thought Clancy and Nico are the same person, but you know, when you see most of the music videos from Breach, it's like a cycle of reincarnation. So that's the kind of the stuff that I want to know more about. If there's like a difference, it's the same person. Is it like a reincarnation cycle? Like, what exactly is going on?
Now that you know all of this information, it's time to introduce our characters. First up, our main guys. Clancy, which is Tyler, and Torchbearer, which is Josh. Clancy is a citizen of Dima who is known for writing letters and detailing his life in the city. He was also forced to make propaganda for Dima, which was the album Skilled and Icy. He is well known by the other citizens of Dima, and he is the only non-bishop that can use the seizing power. Now, let's talk about our man Torchbearer. He is the leader of the rebellious group called the Banditos. He has the power to appear to guide people without physically being there. You may be thinking, who are the Banditos? Well, I'ma tell you. The Banditos are a group of people that have managed to escape Dima and aim to overthrow the city and help the citizens escape. They use the color yellow to symbolize the group.
He's like talking, and I'm listening to like the song lyrics while he's breaking this down, and I'm hearing lyrics like in the city, like city walls, like Breach, like it's all making sense now.
Let's start going over the bishops. There are 9 of them, and the leader goes by Nico, also known as Blurryface. The next important bishop is Keon's, which is Clancy's bishop. Later on, Keon's will betray Dima to help Clancy and the Banditos. There are 7 others, but they don't really matter. Just know they are higher ups in Dima, and they control different parts of the city. The dragon on the Skilled and Icy album cover is named Trash, and he will help out later. Finally, What is a Ned? Neds are these creatures that reside on the island Voltsoy. Their antlers can grow and be removed. When Clancy has these antlers, it gives him the power of seizing. Now that we've set the stage, it's time to dive into the story itself. I won't go into every single detail because that would take hours, but I'll be breaking down the entire journey as simple as possible. This is a story that's been unfolding for over a decade, filled with hidden codes, websites, and letters that kept the fanbase constantly searching for answers. And before we continue, I just want to say thank you. My last story video hit around 100,000 views and the support has been incredible.
Damn.
If you enjoyed this one or find it helpful, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot.
Shout out to you,
let's get
bro.
into the story. Alright, let's start at the Heavy Dirty Soul music video, where this whole story begins. Clancy somehow convinces Nico to take him outside of Dima in a car. They drive around for a little bit, but eventually the torchbearer steps in to cause a fiery diversion. This helps Clancy escape Nico and gives him the opportunity to make his way to Trench. Moving on to the jumpsuit music video. Clancy explores Trench for a while, but while he does that, Nico is already on his way to recapture him. He eventually runs into the Banditos, looking down on them from above. But Nico catches up to Clancy. Nico begins dragging Clancy back to Dima, but as this happens, the Banditos distort Nico by throwing down yellow petals in an effort to help Clancy escape Nico's grasp. Clancy takes this opportunity and runs out of there. He clearly doesn't hit legs at the gym often because he falls down and gets captured once again by Nico. Clancy is then dragged back to Dima. The next part takes place during the Nico and the Niners music video. Clancy is in Dima planning an escape. The Banditos break into the city, allowing Torchbearer and Clancy to meet up and start a concert to make a diversion. This allows Clancy and the Banditos to escape. After this, during the Levitate music video, the Banditos take Clancy back to their camp. Here's where they teach Clancy their colors and their ways. They pump out some music, but the celebration is cut short. Nico captures Clancy again and drags him back to Dima. At this point in time, Clancy is now well known by the citizens of Dima from his letters found on the website Dima.org and his music diversions. The bishops are low-key pissed off, but they decide to use this to their advantage. They force Clancy to make propaganda to keep the people of Dima within the walls. This then becomes the album Skilled and Icy. Eventually, during the Saturday music video,
I didn't even know Skilled and Icy was part of the lore, man. That's crazy.
the bishops make Clancy perform on a submarine for the VIPs of Dima, but unknown to the bishops, an escape is underway. Keons takes this opportunity to use his seizing power to take control of the ancient sea dragon known as Trash, and he sinks the submarine. This allows Clancy and Torchbearer to escape. On to the outside music video. The other bishops find out about Keon's betraying them, so they end up killing him. After the events of the submarine sinking, Clancy and the Torchbearer show up on an island called Voltsoy. They explore for a while and come across a cave. This cave has a large population of Neds. Clancy starts rapping to the Neds about being a megalodon for some reason, and eventually finds himself on a beach outside the cave. This is where Ned would grow and take off his antlers and give them to Clancy. Using these antlers, Clancy can now use his seizing power. He takes control of Keon's dead body, hits a quick emote, and then starts a fire in Dima. This makes the other bishops be like, holy shit, how did he do that? Clancy and the Torchbearer wait on the island for rescue, intending to finally use this new power to fight back against Dima. They start to head to Trench on a boat. Next, we go to the Overcompensate music video. Clancy starts a concert inside of Dima. His plan is to expose the truth of this
Overcompensate is from which album? Clancy? Yeah, I think Clancy.
corrupt religion and the evil leaders to the citizens of Dima. He starts a rebellion from inside the walls. He teaches the people of all the bad things that are happening and teaches them of the Banditos, basically saying they need to escape and fight back against the bishops. Clancy gains their trust and convinces people to join the rebellion. Turns out that Clancy was never actually there during this whole exposed thing. He was seizing a body the whole time, proving his point to the people even more.
That's cool as
Finally,
fuck.
Clancy and Torchbearer return to Trench. The next part takes place during the Navigating music video. Clancy and Torchbearer explore Trench with other Banditos, and eventually arrive at a Bandito camp. I don't know, it's just a giant fire. Anyways, Clancy meets Torchbearer. Turns out the whole time after the Levitate music video, Clancy was just traveling with an imaginary version of Torchbearer. But now that they have finally met up for the first time in years, Clancy gets his mask and is ready for their final fight. Moving on to the Paladin Straight music video. Clancy and the Banditos gear up and prepare to fight against Dima. They begin their way over, but they're getting spied on from vultures above being controlled by the bishops. In response to the Banditos on their way, the bishops merge their power together and make a zombie army of the Glorious Gone. The Banditos arrive and the two armies have a face-off, giving Clancy the opportunity to sneak into Dima, climb the towers, and confront the bishops. Clancy gets to the top and easily defeats the bishops, except
the
Nico.
City Walls music
Clancy says to
video
pull up and
starts.
fight him, and Nico comes out of a door and grabs Clancy by the neck.
That's where like Clancy the album ends.
The story continues on their most recent album, Breach. I'm going to skip over the Contract music video and come back to it in a little bit, so we're going to start with the City Walls music video. City Walls picks up from the exact moments Paladin Straight ended. The Banditos and Torchbearer start running up to the tower to go and help Clancy. But while this is happening, Clancy starts to fight back against Nico on his own. During this fight,
The
we see
fight scene during
flashbacks
the
to
video,
former moments
this was
from Clancy's
crazy.
story. First is the Heavy Duty Soul music video where Clancy originally escaped Nico, then the Levitate music video where he was hanging out with the Banditos, and the final flashback being when he got captured by Nico in jumpsuit. During all of these flashbacks, Clancy tries to run from Nico, but eventually turns back to face him. All while this is happening, Torchbearer is struggling to get into the room. Clancy has lost the antlers that has been helping him fight, so the final weapon he uses is the 21 Pilot symbol to pretty much disintegrate Nico. Everything seems to be fine. Clancy finally defeated Nico, right? Well, not quite. Clancy gets a bishop robe and now has become Nico. Clancy then starts handing robes out to the Banditos, but the Torchbearer refuses to take one and leaves. This then leaves Clancy at the center of 9 bishops, pretty much recreating the thing he fought to destroy. Outside, we see an interaction between a Bandito and Torchbearer.
Yeah, this was very interesting interaction because it kind of seems like the story isn't over. Are they teasing another album?
I really like this Clancy.
You said this Clancy, meaning there's been others, right?
Yeah, me too. But that's not Clancy up there anymore. He's out there somewhere. And we will try again. Again?
Always. Oh, goosebumps.
From this, we finally
Goosebumps.
learn that there's been a cycle of Clancy's and Nico's. Pretty much one always becomes the other. Now, let's go back to the contract music video. Throughout the video, we see duplications of Clancy as if there's multiple versions of him repeating the same exact thing. I think that the glowing eyes we see are past Clancy's watching the cycle repeat once again. Towards the end of the video, we see everything start to leave the void until we're left with just Clancy and Torchbearer. The Torchbearer offers Clancy his jacket, but he doesn't take it. Alright, now back to the final part of the City Walls music video. It seems like this has all happened before, and it will probably happen again. But this time, there's a sign of hope. The sun is rising, and Torchbearer says the next Clancy's out there, and they are going to try again. Basically, Clancy is not a name. It's a title. With each cycle of Clancy and Nico, there has been progress towards a breach. Overall, the entire storyline is a representation on mental health, struggles, and anxieties that people go through. To me, each of their albums deal with this theme, but in their own specific ways. In Blurryface, we start to really get to know that character and the ways he acts. We start to identify and acknowledge our fears and anxieties. In Trench, we're getting to know the place those fears and anxieties put us in with Dima, making attempts to leave it behind. In Skilled and Icy, we're learning about coping mechanisms, seeing how if we just bury these things without truly dealing with them, we may be able to cope for a while, but we're not really in control. In Clancy, we feel the determination and fear of trying to fight back against our anxieties. Finally, in Breach, we feel the bittersweet feeling of acknowledging the cycle once again and accepting progress over despair. But Breach is also a key acknowledgement of the people that stay by our side through all of this. The people that go through their own cycle while watching others go through theirs. The Torchbearer recognizes the cycle almost better than Clancy does. He's by his side always, and yet sometimes he gets shut out, and yet he does not give up. Breach in a way is about moving forward despite all the struggle, and the people that help us do that. Everybody can view this story in different ways and in their own personal connection. The lore of 21 Pilots wraps up to show that mental health is a cycle that improves with each day. With that, it's the end of a 10-year story by 21 Pilots. I hope this video could help you understand the story a little bit more. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and let me know any questions you have, and I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. Finally, let me know what this story and band means to you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Damn. I hope you guys have learned at least one or two things that you didn't know about 21 Pilots. Now you do. All of their music means a lot to me, especially this new album, Breach. So it was fun to be excited with everybody else to listen to the album and enjoy it. Yeah, if you guys like the content, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. And yeah, peace.